Good morning. Welcome to practice. Thanks for joining. We're going to lie down to begin with and take a long, narrow blanket or towel rolled up. And that's going to go under the tailbone and soles of the feet together, knees out wide. If your blanket is wide enough, you can roll the ends up and even and give yourself a little bit more support underneath your hips. And arms out from the shoulders. And explore feeling the length of your spine and your body supported on the floor. And find the flow of your breath. The, the rhythm there every day, every moment of your life. And we can change the flow of the breath by breathing more slowly, intending to breathe more shallowly, whatever the intention is. But just tuning into what is. And noticing now places in the body that might be holding tension, natural tension, that just now may not be useful, might not be necessary. The feeling being in your body, present to your breathing. We're going to just keep the blanket there and lift your feet up off the floor. You know, pull the blanket a little bit higher so it's really just catching your tailbone. It's going to help you press your lower back into the floor. Keep your knees out wide and interlock your fingers behind the base of your skull. And we're going to try and lift the breastbone towards the ceiling and the head a little bit off the floor, head and hands. But rest your head back into your hands. So keep trying to lift your chest and maybe even a little bit of the shoulder blades comes off the floor. You'll feel the core, front core of the body starts to engage. So keep pressing your lower back and only lift as high as you can without straining your neck. So keep your head relaxed into your hands. Nice work. Feeling the core of the body, the pelvic floor, that internal muscular support. Good. And we're just going to wriggle around a little bit. So let's take the legs left and the upper body right, and the legs right and the upper body left. And even imagine making circles with your lower body in one direction and with your upper body in the other direction, which is pretty tricky to do. But watch that tendency for the strength of your arms to want to really push your head, to relax your head. Maybe go in the other direction. Keep your lower back pressing towards the floor, but feeling that engaged core of the body. Nice work. Put your feet back down on the floor. Lay your spine, your head back to the floor, and take your arms out again. And just relaxing back onto your support and finding the flow. Good. And then take the feet off the floor. And this time we're going to put legs parallel, knees over the hips, and arms straight up from the shoulders, palms facing. Press your lower back into the floor. Now, again, you can feel the front core of the body particularly. And we're going to take left leg and right arm away from center. And you don't have to go all the way out to straight. You can if you like, but try making a small movement and noticing how much work the core of the body has to do, and keep your lower back pressed down. Beautiful. Back to center. And then we'll go on the other side. So you can move really effectively. It doesn't have to be a really big movement here, but truly paying attention to that lighting up of the front core. Pay attention to your breath. Keep your lower back pressing into the floor. Nice one. Hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit side to side. So we're going to just take that blanket out now. Take your arms overhead and just with your legs still dangling in towards the chest, relax your hands towards the floor. If they don't reach, you can put your blanket under your hands. Relaxing your upper arms, your armpits. Good, and we'll take the legs straight up now. We're going to drop the legs just a little way towards the floor until you feel your core engaged and pressing your lower back. And breathing deeply. Good, and then we'll drop a little bit more towards the floor. And of course, it gets stronger, or we require more strength to hold the leg, but keep pressing your lower back. Good, and then incrementally, and they can be tiny increments, moving the feet towards the floor. Don't do this at the expense of a healthy spine. So only work in the range that works for your back. Keep your back pressing to the floor, feeling the core of the body really working. And breathing. And once it gets too strong, we're going to relax the feet back to the floor. Oh, hip width and parallel. And just put your hands on your belly. And finding that flow of breath again. Maybe you can feel the whole core of the body starting to warm up. Nice. Okay, we're going to come into an all fours position. You can roll to your right side to do that, or cross your feet at your ankles and roll on up. In all fours, walk your knees back and bring your shoulders forward. So we're in a modified plank position. Knees, hips, shoulders in line with each other. Lifting your tummy, lengthening your lower back. Elbows a little bit bent and pressing out just above your elbows. Stretch your fingers wide, press your fingerprint, and finding the flow of breath. Feel that downward energy through your fingers, your hands, your knees, tops of the feet. Beautiful. And then we're going to go from there into downward facing dog pose. So tuck your toes under and start to lift the hips higher and higher. And as the hips lift, let your head just hang down. Nodding gently, shaking gently. And feel the flow of energy through your body, from the press of your hands, through the length of your arms, armpits, sides of the waist, hips, and the legs. Start to press the heels now. Lift the kneecaps, the quadriceps. Find the expression of length and space in your body, of ease and tension, and feel the flow of breath. Beautiful. And then forward virasana. So knees to the floor, out wide enough to make room for your tummy. Hips back towards your heels as close as they'll go. Enjoying each breath. Good, and then we'll come back up into that modified plank position. So knees back, replacing your shoulders sort of over your wrist, and a line, straight as line as you can from your knees through the hips and your shoulders. Okay, so we're lifting the front belly, lengthening the lower back. Nice work. Stretch your fingers out wide. Keep pressing the fingerprints down, base of the index finger, elbows a little bit bent. And then downward facing dog pose. And really lengthening. Lengthening arms, armpits, sides of the waist, lifting the hips as high as you can. Lift the sitting bones, but press the heels. Feeling the flow of breath. Nice work. Now bring the knees to the floor. And this time we'll bring the elbows to the floor and walk your knees back. We're going to stretch the chest and armpits here by taking the chest towards the front of the leg. And so maybe your forehead touches the floor, but you can continue to feel the bones of the spine moving into the front of the body. The armpits lengthening and broadening. And finding the rhythm of your breath as you give in to the ease and the tension of the posture, the ease and the awkwardness. Explore. Nice work. And then releasing. And we're going to kneel up. So just walk your knees forward. And you might want to take your blanket to put under your knees so they're comfortable. And kneeling up. And tuck your toes under. Lovely. All right. Now our toes are short on the little toes, long on the big toes. So you might have to even use your hands to see if you can get all your toes to connect. And we're going to try and sit our bottom back onto the heels, but you can do that with your hands on the floor in front if you find it too strong. Otherwise, you can sit up. So really nice if we can feel every toe is getting in on the act of stretching here. Wow. We're going to interlock the fingers and stretch the palms. We're going to take the arms up slowly now. As the arms start to go up, what happens is the shoulders want to lift up, but we're going to try and keep the shoulder blades down. Lengthening the side of the ribs, keeping your neck relaxed. Whoa, and finding the flow of breath. Observing the intensity. Nice work. Releasing that side. So just take your tops of the feet down to the floor for a moment. You relax. Feet in that direction. You might be able to kneel back again or stay kneeling up. Good. And then we're going to go again with the other interlock of the fingers. So tuck the toes under again. And you can do this and keep your hands on the floor if you really need to. Or kneeling up. Don't know that it got any easier. Okay, interlock your fingers the other way. Press out through the palms. We'll take the palms up. Armpits are long and broad. Draw the shoulder blades down. Nice work. And releasing and just kneeling for a moment. And speaking of kneeling, we're going to take your blanket and make a support that's going to fit. So I've made a more rectangle shape. It's going to fit underneath your sit bones. And you can double that over so that you've got plenty of support for kneeling with your heels under your hips. So I haven't got the toes tucked under this time, just on the fronts of the feet. And we're trying to do parallel legs. Heels as close in underneath your hips as you can. And even try to do parallel feet. The toes tend to want to tuck inward. If we didn't have the blanket there, the natural shape would be to tuck the toes in and then we're sitting in the feet. Let's try this parallel feet. Good. And we'll do the arms again. So interlock your fingers, stretch through the palm. And as you take your arms up, just feel what happens with the body, with the shoulder blades, and really try to work the shoulder blades down. So when you take your arms to your full range of movement, you can feel like your neck is at ease. You can easily move there. There's no tension in the neck. And really stretch through the palms. Good. And then we're going to turn the torso gently to the left side without any tension in the neck and feeling the breath. Beautiful. And back to center and release your arm. Interlock your fingers. Stretch out in the palm, so on the interlock. And as you take your arms up, really considering your neck. So drawing the shoulder blades down. Letting the armpits lengthen. The neck relax. We're going to turn the ribs to the right side. Keeping your neck really at ease. Really stretching through your palms. And finding each breath. Beautiful. And back to center. Nice work. No more kneeling. Take your blanket out. We're going to bring the forearms down onto the floor. Good. Walk the knees back. And again, stretching armpit and chest by bringing your chest towards the front of the leg. If your head doesn't reach the floor to rest, you can keep the back of the neck long and maybe look forward slightly. Otherwise, letting the armpits lengthen. Now, you can stay here. That's a really effective stretch. Or if you'd like to add some strengthening, make sure your elbows are shoulder width. Tuck the toes under, and same thing but with the knees off the floor. We try to bring the chest towards the feet. And breathing deeply. Nice work. Now we're going to bring the knees back to the floor. Downward facing dog pose. And the feet hopefully are feeling like they've got a little bit more movement. And we're going to walk the feet forward towards the hands. Now, as you walk your feet, really try to use all of that nice movement. So feeling all the joints moving, lift right up onto the ball of the foot before you lift the toes off the floor. Stepping, little steps, exploring your range of movement here. You might be restricted in your back, so you're not going to take your feet all the way forward, but just where you can move, where you can pad your feet. Good, and then we're going to roll up and come to the front of your mat and stand in Tadasana. And feeling a beautiful part of our body that is our foundation here, the feet. Each toe alive to the sensation of the whole ball of the foot, the heel, arches, places that touch the floor and the places that lift away from the floor. And feel your whole body taking up space from the feet, vertical space, feeling broad across your heart, lungs. Feel the length of your arms, hands, fingers, and the flow of your breath. Bring your hands in front of your heart. We're going to press them gently and draw the shoulder blades down. So it's going to remind that action. And we're going to lift the left leg off the floor. You're balanced on your right leg. And just feel around in the air in front of you. So straighten that left leg as though you were trying to feel for something if it was dark. Good. And then try and feel out to the side. So left leg's going to go out the side. Feeling around. And then behind you, feeling around in the air behind you. So you're leaning forward a little bit, the fulcrum being the hip, the right hip here. Beautiful. Now you're going to put that foot back, hip width and parallel, and try to do it without looking. And feeling the flow of your breath. Feeling as your feet connect. Make any little adjustments that you can feel. Parallel with feet. Strong leg. Good. Let's do the same with the other leg. So standing onto the left leg, reach the right leg out in front. Feel the air around in front of you. So sort of making little circles with my ankle. Out to the front with the right leg and then out to the side with the right leg. You have to lean your torso left. Good. And then around the back. You were feeling around for something there. Good. And then when you put that foot back, it's going to land hip width and parallel And see if you can do it without looking. Feel your foundation. Good. And then Tadasana. Upper arms roll out. Take up space. Finding the rhythm of your breath. Beautiful. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Uttanasana, healthy spine. You don't want to feel the bones of your spine popping up to the ceiling. And that goes for between the shoulder blades as well. So draw the bones of the spine forward into the front body. It might mean that you don't lean as far forward, but let's look for the healthy spine. Some people can keep their healthy spine and touch the floor. So wherever it makes sense, your healthy spine. Keep the back of the neck long. Good. And then bend the knees and inhale. And come up and arms up. Great. Now, we are going to put the hands on the floor. So you might need to bend your leg to keep your healthy spine. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana, hands to the floor. So bend your legs enough. Just make sure you're keeping the bones of the spine forward. Good. We're going to take the left leg out behind. And again, feel around as though you're feeling around all the air behind. So take the left leg across to the right side. Feel around behind you. Out to the left side as far as it will go. Back behind you. Good. And then we're going to stand up. Keep the left leg off the floor if you can. And straighten your right leg so you can be standing on your right leg. And then bring the left leg out in front and feel around in front of you. Good. And then you're going to put that leg down. Hip width. Parallel. Inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, Uttanasana, but bend your legs so you keep that feeling of the healthy spine. Good. So bend your legs enough. Take your right leg out behind you, feeling around. So you're moving a foot, in other words. And then we're going to take the right leg over to the left side as far as it will go. And then over to the right side as far as it will go. And then back behind you. And then we're going to stand up and be balanced on your left leg and bring your right leg in front. Whoa. I like the prayer position here because it keeps the shoulder blades down. Good. And then place your right foot back into Tadasana. Feet hip width and parallel. Nice work. Okay. We're going to take from Tadasana, Garudasana, arms out to the side, sorry. And then right arm over the left arm. Now, you might be able to hold your thumb or face the palms. And if that's out of the question, embrace your shoulders. Shoulder blades down. And as you keep your shoulder blades down, start to lift your elbows. Make sure that feels okay with your neck and your shoulders. So, a crane pose. We're going to add in the legs here by just bending the knees a little and lift up onto your left tiptoes until they're barely touching the floor. See how your balance is. Now you can keep your tiptoes there to help you. You might feel that automatically the front core of the body has engaged to support that healthy spine. Well done, you. Good. So feeling the core of your body. And if you can take that foot all the way off the floor. You can even cross the thigh over the other one. Some people can tuck their lower leg behind their standing leg. That one doesn't work for me. Doing my breathing and relaxing the neck. Now we're going to unravel and try to put that foot back down, hip width parallel without looking. Unfurling. Tadasana. Thumbs out to the side. And it's time, left arm over the right. So finding your hand hold, that might be shoulders, thumb, or face the palm. Draw the shoulder blades down. So that action keeps your neck free to move. So you can even make nice little gentle neck gestures there. The shoulder blades stay down and explore taking the elbows up. Beautiful. Bend the knees. And we're going to lift the right foot now right up onto the tiptoes as though they're barely in contact with the floor. Do you feel the core of the body really engage here to hold the lift of the healthy spine? Yes. And then if you have your balance, try taking your right thigh over your left. Whoa. Even tucking your lower leg behind or the side. Rain pose. Healthy core, healthy spine. Flowing breath. Beautiful. Now we're going to unfurl and release that leg back to hip width parallel. Tadasana. Beautiful. Step or jump your feet out wider than your leg is long. So along the long edge of your mat. Turn your toes out. And we're going to bend one leg, straighten the other leg. So we're going to start to move the hips here. Now you can do this in this upright position, lifting the pelvic floor. And especially if you're vulnerable in your knees, you just want to take it slow, paying attention to how your knees are working. If you want to take this deeper and drop the hips more, you might want to put your hands on the floor to help you. Squatting from side to side. Some people may be able to do this squat without even using the hand. I don't think I'm quite up to that, but I think you pay attention to what nourishes your body. Beautiful. Come back to a central position and put your hands on the floor, turn your toes forward. So hands on the floor under your shoulders. We're going to hop the feet into hip width and sit down. You take whatever movements you need to sit with wisdom, with grace, with your own ease, with my own awkwardness. Finding a comfortable seated position, and if it hurts your leg to cross legs, then do straight legs. Feeling the length of your spine, the natural tendency for tension in the shoulders. And just now, is it possible to let go of that tension? Can we sit balanced without tension in the shoulders and the neck? Feeling though the the tension of muscular action in the core of the body. Lengthening the spine. We're going to take Jatara Sukhasana. So side twist. I'm turning to the left, right hand to the left leg. Turn your ribs and find the feeling of stopping, where your body says, yeah, that's all there is. Relax the shoulders again. Lengthen the spine. Feeling the mind and body working together. And then finding the breath. The void in the body as you exhale. The space to move into. To move with. Finding the potential. And then back to center and change the cross of your legs if they're crossed. And turning to the right side. Sukhasana. Noticing that moment where the body wants to stop. But if you find your connection to your breathing, the space at the end of the exhalation, and then releasing. That's what we're going to lay down. Feet hip width parallel. Lift the hips nice and high, so press your feet into the floor. And hold your hips or the sides of your hips and just help yourself to lift the hips a little bit higher. We'll lengthen the neck out along the floor and feel that you're keeping your parallel feet and legs and the work that's happening there to do that. Lift the breastbone a little higher. Good, and then releasing bone by bone back down. Hug your knees into your chest and rock a little bit from side to side. If you had time in this moment to stretch yourself out for your own relaxation, that would be lovely. If, like me, you need to finish your practice, then rolling over to your right side and coming up to sitting. Bringing your hands in front of your heart. Feeling the flow of your breath and take the feeling of the practice. Namaste.